Hello and welcome back to our third match of our little triple bingo. I think rally bingo is what we're calling. Little showcase tournament here. Right now we've got Team Brime and Strangers back up for, I believe, both their second matches.
Indeed.
So we've got the guys right here. We'll start with Team Brime. How are you guys feeling?
Well, we just won a match, so I'm feeling pretty good. But they also won a match, so they're probably feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
But we're playing right after a match, so I think we're more warmed up than them, in my opinion.
Sure. Hot on your feet. So how's your synergy feeling between you and Braga?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think I made a couple routing mistakes, but I think it's been really good. Like me asking questions like, "Hey, should I get these coins?" Then that reminded me of something, or like maybe I should do world peace here. And I think there's been a lot of back and forth, which is good. But also, I've been able to sort of communicate everything I wanted to, except we just had some trouble with checkpoints at the end of Wooden. But I think we've got that
Go
sorted.
to the flowers.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm feeling good about our communication. Should be another good match.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game with this whole thing. It surprisingly changes things, I find, with separating the task between two runners here. But what about you guys over on Stranger's side?
Well, we just came off of a win of our own, and I think that it's been a really good dynamic between Stravos and I. I think that Stravos has excellent execution. I think that he's like enough game knowledge where I can communicate an idea, and he already has an idea of what to do with that idea. Definitely go back and forth on a couple of things, and like routing on the fly sometimes happens too. So it's just I think the dynamic really works there. I think we're both articulate, like I mentioned in the last match we were just in. I think we're both rather articulate and very technical in the way that we approach the game, which helps in understanding each other and like the direction that we take to get to the certain objectives. So I think our synergy is there, and I think that this will be a really good match.
Yeah, awesome. Well, sounds like we've got some pretty good pairings here. I think you guys suit each other. But unless you guys have any further comments for us, I think we're ready to take this one off.
All right.
Wherever you guys are.
All right. Yep. Good luck.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And co-commentating with me is Yo-Yo Swift, who I believe did a match or two earlier today. So welcome back, Yo-Yo.
Hello.
And now, I think I actually missed these earlier matches. So how are you feeling about these two teams? Tell me about them.
I don't know, though. They're both very good teams. They both beat Zimpars and Small at 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to be a pretty close race, and we're just going to have to kind of see.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm familiar with all these guys just in Odyssey speedrunning in general, but they're definitely, all four of them, very respected in the community. Stravos, of course, I would have to give the upper hand on execution over Odme here, but Odme's no slouch himself. And then on the other hand, Braga, the bingo master, I would definitely say is more experienced with bingo routing than Dangers. But we're off and away now, and now we've got to look at this card. So 225 total regionals right in the middle. Definitely doable. It's going to test their routing knowledge and just kind of general planning. But if you can make that work, I find those high total regional coins to be not that bad, really.
Yeah.
Let's see. And to combo with it, generally, if you're going to go for the total ones, you do want to do it with some individual kingdom regional goals as well. So I'm saying 30 regional coins Metro over in column 5. And I think that's it. Oh, 15 regionals in Snow as well. 45 in Cascade. Column
35.
2.
There's 35 in Seaside as well.
Okay. So yeah, decent amounts of synergy there, and not great. 45 regionals in Cascade is definitely nice to pair with that. And then we've also got 30 moons in Sand over it. So if you're getting that many moons in Sand, you can probably pick up quite a few purples on the way. But who knows? Anyway, just to explain the format real quick, just in case anyone missed the earlier matches. So we've got teams of 2 here. One person looks at the bingo card and plans out the route and kind of guides their runner to complete their objectives. And the runner does not actually have eyes on the bingo card at all. So it's kind of a test of communication, and pairs one person's superior running skill with another person's superior routing skill, and lets them kind of focus on their tasks individually.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about routing while also paying attention to the game.
Yeah, exactly. Which is definitely, at least in the early stages here, that is a big deciding factor in how well you can perform in bingo, is being able to multitask these 2 things at once. But this kind of takes that out of the equation, which is quite interesting. Anyway, with this board, anything jumping out at you right away, Yo-Yo?
I see 2 routes that could work well together, which would be column 4 and top left to bottom right, possibly.
Oh.
Because there's also a 50 regionals in Wooded that we
Yeah.
see earlier. So that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Okay. That's that was a big miss on my part. But yeah, with 50 regionals in Wooded and then 45 in Cascade, that's not bad at all. Although column 2 and row 3, both a little bit rough with those noon total goals.
Yeah.
So it might be hard to route that in.
If we are going to end up doing the 30 moves from Sam, 90 moves wouldn't be as bad.
Yep, that is true. That is very true. And let's see if an early finish is possible here. I would think it probably is possible to at least avoid snow and seaside, as there's not too many objectives.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, column 4 definitely looking strong. And with that 10 moons from sub areas in Metro, you might as well pair that with the 30 regional points in Metro as well. So you could go strategy here. Go for column 4 and row 3. And then that will allow you to go for the top left, bottom, which is a Metro finish, but you're collecting quite. Traditionally, at the end of Metro, if you're doing any percent, you only have 75 moons. It's a tough. Not sure if that's the play or not here. Kind of a tricky board.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see and kind of just see how their route unfolds and really see what they're gonna be doing.
Yeah. Also, I apologize. I should mention this. The feed for Team Brime appears to be messed up right now. So that is just a mirror image of strangers.
Yeah.
But we'll get it fixed shortly. Anyway, for the team we can see, strangers just flying through the opening stages here. I noticed they did grab some purples at the start of Cascade here, so potentially looking at that objective. And it looks like we're going for chest clip for an early exit. Oh, missed the chest clip, but not a huge deal. No, okay. Wow. The juke there, going up to the Odyssey, but no, we're not done here.
Look like he getting Captain Toad.
Yep. That's a nice, easy.
So, full marked pretty early on, so it's only been about 6 minutes.
Yeah, and that would mean that they're either going for row 5 or column 3.
which is either a snow or seaside finish, and
Exactly, yep.
Team Brime also doing that. So it's looking like both of these teams are actually going to be going for a snow or seaside finish.
Interesting. Probably not a bad idea. My proposed route earlier with the Metro finish is a lot of moons. So if you're getting that many moons, you might as well just go to the next kingdom.
Yeah. So Team Brime leaving Strangers is doing a little bit of extra work. Looks like they're about to leave as well, though.
Yep. Interestingly, so Strangers did get 30 regional coins there, but not opting for the 45. So I guess that is just for their total regional coins, which still makes sense because Cascade regionals are super quick. They're very heavily condensed, so it's easy to get a lot of them. Now, in terms of, obviously, we're not going to be going to Seaside and Snow Kingdom. So do you think this is a play for column 3 or row 5 with our Captain Toad square reef mark?
Probably column 3 would be the better option because 100 moons is going to be a lot of moons.
Yep. I would have to agree. Traditionally, I find Seaside is usually the smarter pick, but just the way the objectives lied for this board in particular, it really doesn't seem that great.
Yeah.
Again, the rest of column 3 being super easy outside of that 225 total regionals.
Yeah.
5 treasure chest moons is no problem whatsoever, and neither is checkpoints.
So we still gotta see more of what these teams are gonna be doing, what they're kind of thinking on their other 2 routes, because they're most likely going for row 3.
Yep.
I mean column 3.
Column 3, yeah.
But we gotta see if they end up either going in the same direction or going in different routes. But both these teams, especially Team Prime, grabbing regionals for that total regional. Gonna be grabbing a lot of regionals throughout this bingo.
Yep. Now, I don't know if you caught it since our feed was messed up there, but did Brian go as heavily into Cascade Purples as Strangers did?
I don't necessarily know. I don't think he did.
I was going to say I didn't think they did either. So, potentially just different micro routing and where they want to get their purples, or we could be seeing some different lines here. Personally, I always like it when we see some different lines. Ooh, Brian going for the bullet bill jump and lands it in this 2D section. Oh no, and then falls right back down, but wow. Lands it again. He's excited about that trick. Wanted to show it off.
Yeah, there's lots of different options with these 225 regionals.
Absolutely.
Especially since they are going to be going to snow.
Yeah, and we're definitely doing something here in Sand Kingdom. These guys haven't quite been doing just pure any percent, or at least Brime certainly isn't. I haven't been paying as much attention to Strangers, but
yeah,
they're doing kind of any percent.
Brime though, doing kind of a different route.
Yeah, making sure to grab that 8-bit moon, which is on the board. And column 2 for 3 8-bit moons. That is a really easy objective. Almost a freebie.
Yeah, 3 8-bit really isn't a lot.
Yep. I believe before Metro, there are 7 or 8 available.
Yeah, I think there's 8 if you do the one in the pyramid in Sand.
Right. Yeah, and they're all relatively fast outside of that pyramid one.
Yeah. The pyramid one's good if you're doing like world peace or something else.
So yeah, interesting. These guys seem to be holding it together pretty well in terms of communication. I mean, at least as far as we can tell, but they definitely don't seem to be fumbling around at all. These guys are constantly on the move.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the cool thing about this rally bingo format, because you know your router just do it, and then you don't have anything else on your mind. But doing that is
Team Prime grabbing this moon by knocking over the cactus.
yeah, that's kind of interesting. Not
And it
really
looks
one.
like they're going over to the sub area, so possibly they might be going for 30 moons in this kingdom.
Yeah, potentially. Meanwhile, Stranger's having a very nice notes move, and it looks like they're headed to the Odyssey to lead. So I guess they were just doing some 80% with some purples along the way, which makes sense because Sand is definitely a kingdom you want to grab at least a few in if you're going to try and make it all the way to 225.
Yeah. So it's looking like we have some different routes going on. Hopefully make this a bit more interesting.
Yeah, certainly. And now I don't think there is a sub-areas goal for total sub-areas. There is for Metro specifically. So Brian opting to grab these moons potentially for the purples inside the sub-area.
And
Or,
maybe working towards 30 moons as well.
right.
Because he did get the 8-bit in the tower, right?
He did get the 8-bit in
So,
the
maybe-
Ruins Tower, yes.
Maybe he's considering something like row 2.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. And with Sand, if you were going for 30 moons, you could probably end in the inverted pyramid on Harriet, which means you could get 2 8-bit moons on your way,
Yeah.
as well as several treasure chest moons. There is
Yeah,
one
there's-
treasure chest moon inside the inverted pyramid, and then there's the one in Sinks Clip that they already got, and the one in the Jackseed Ruins that they already got.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're warping to the Odyssey, so perhaps not. Those seem like very interesting moons to go for if you're just trying to get 16.
Yeah.
So perhaps a route switch or a communication error?
I don't know. Or maybe planning on revisiting, possibly. But there's not really anything else on the board that requires a revisit, I don't think.
We do have warp paintings at the top of column 2, and
Oh, yeah.
if they set up their warp paintings correctly, they could take one back to Sand Kingdom.
Yeah, I didn't see that goal, actually. So, yeah, that could work out well.
Yeah,
Team
Stranger's
Stranger-
going for late clip here. Oh, missing it the first try. Let's see if he can get this set up again. This is a very difficult trick.
We're seeing this a lot
Okay.
in this team triple bingo tournament so far.
Yes, very nice, and he does nab the checkpoint up there, so he'll be able to warp up there, and that does count as a warp painting moon, because that is the intended way to get that moon up there.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to go through the painting, you just have to get the moon.
That's right. And of course, it is also a treasure chest, and you'll see that we are marking that one off, so more progress towards column 3 here, as expected.
Yeah.
And just looking like really clean routing overall from Strangers right now.
Yeah, looks like they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be interested to see if they choose to grab the 8-bit moon here. They skipped both of them in Sand Kingdom. But there are plenty of 8-bit moons to get. So definitely not required for them to get that one back in the tower that Team Brian got. Meanwhile, Brian off to an awful slow start here in Late Kingdom. Only at 1 moon. Really went heavy on those purples in the starting area. But you know what? Maybe not the worst idea. Lake. A handful of seeing the warp painting play into sand. Very interesting to do that right now. Only 2 moons into their lake kingdom. We'll see if they stay or if nope, they're gone. Okay. So it looks like they're just going for that warp painting objective, and I would be shocked if we didn't see a late painting jump from them, or perhaps a late clip jump like Strangers did.
So maybe they're not going for that 30 moons into sand, but I'm still curious why they actually did those sub areas at the end.
Yeah, definitely seems like a strange decision to me. I think at this point we'd have to call some sort of communication error or reroute, because there's no reason to do those 16 moons specifically, unless you're really desperate for purples, which I don't think they would be. Especially with Bry Guy at the helm, he knows where his purples are. He should know that you don't have to go that desperately for purples in sand to reach 225.
Yeah. Team Strangers now heading off to Wooded. And we do have a 50 regionals in Wooded, like we said earlier. And I think we do have 10 moves from Nuts, so we're gonna have to kind of see. Probably after this kingdom, we might be able to tell more about the route and what they're going for.
Yeah, still definitely a bit of a mystery at this point. We're getting some clues. We're definitely getting some clues. We see Brime marking off their 8-bit moons, finishing that off. I'm actually not sure where their third one was. Because, they must have gotten one in Cascade Kingdom while their feed was offline. That is the only one that would have made sense for them to get.
Yeah, maybe they didn't do Dino Skip or something.
Yeah, they could have potentially not done Dino Skip up to Madame Brutal, or they could have just backtracked on their way to search for some purples and went through that little climb up the intended way to the top of the mountain.
Yeah. So, we did see Team Brown go through that painting, meaning they're going to be going for that 2 war painting moon. And since they've also done that 8, possibly they could be going for column 2, but that does have 100 moons in it, which, like we said earlier, that is a lot of moons. Or another thing they might be doing is something like row 1.
I would think row 1 is probably more likely.
Yeah, row 1 really isn't that bad. But what are they going to be doing with that 8-bit? Because either they're doing 30 moons and sands, which they haven't yet, and there's no reason really for them to revisit again. So I don't know, or that, or they're going for the 100 moon total.
I think for 8-bits, it's got to be for the top left, bottom right. That's a pretty strong line in general. Really not anything too difficult to get in either any of those 5 squares.
Yeah,
so,
I forgot about the diagonal.
Yeah, especially since they did not mark off their 45 regionals Cascade, and we don't even know if they got that many.
Yeah.
I would say that Brime is definitely locked in for a row 1, column 3, top left, bottom right.
Yeah, that seems pretty likely for them. While they are now heading off to Wooded.
Yep. Where Strangers is already making quite nicely on the progress here. It looks like they've done 80% so far, along with some good old purple grabbing.
Yeah, very solid still.
I'm actually not sure if this is faster than just taking the uproot over to those set of 4 purples in the maze.
Yeah, it's probably around the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have lots of purple coin grabbing going on already.
As expected, of course, with the 50
Yeah.
regionals and the 225 total. Ooh, Stranger's getting a wacky wall jump there. I've never seen that. Very interesting. I don't even think that was intended, because that would not be saving any time for them. Now, my one question with Team Brime is perhaps they think the 10 moons from sub-areas in Metro is 10 sub-area moons total? Because they did go out of their way to do lake sub-areas as well, which does not make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, maybe they think that's 10 moons from sub-area total, because you don't see that 10 moons from sub-area Metro goal a lot. So maybe they think that it's a total, and that could be messing them up a bit.
That would be a really bad mistake here.
Yeah.
Because sub-area moons in general are pretty slow due to all the extra loads. And the fact that, you know, they're kind of their own self-contained things.
And that would make sense why they did the lake. I mean, yeah, the sand in the lake.
Yeah.
Sub areas.
So I'm really hoping that's not the case, but that's my current theory.
Yeah.
Maybe they've realized it by now, or maybe I'm crazy here and they know what they're doing the whole time, which with Braga, that's probably the case, honestly, but for a somewhat less skilled player like myself, that's all I can explain this behavior as so far. Stranger's going for a spirit kill.
Team Brime taking
Yep.
Missing the pole.
Surprisingly difficult to grab that pole, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely could be annoying sometimes.
Yeah. Luckily, we've got our checkpoint right here.
Yeah.
So not too much of a setback.
Yeah. So Team Strangers defeating Speedrun, and they still need one more move.
Yep.
And
Which seems kind of strange, planning-wise. But I guess they do need quite a few more regionals, so they've got more work to do here anyway.
yeah.
Very nice Flower Road skip from Oddme here on Team Brine. And it looks like Strangers is finishing up their purples in just a moment here. 1 to go. They've already marked off the square. And there it is. But where's the last moon? Okay. Trouble with that last one on the tree.
Yeah. Going for this nut moon, maybe? We do have like 8 moons from nut. No, he's not going for that. Looks like he's going up there to collect even more regionals as well.
Definitely not a bad idea. Typically, 60 plus regional coins in Wooded is considered fairly free. And here we see the master plan coming together. 1 moon from Goombas in that bottom right.
Yeah. So looking like he as well.
Oh, looks like Stravos may be a little unfamiliar with how this works, but he figured it out.
Yeah. So it looks like they're going to be going for that diagonal as well.
Yep. And if that is the case, I would say they're in very good shape at the moment.
Yeah, that was a pretty smart move right there. And getting a lot of regionals.
Yeah, it looks like we'll see what Stravos has planned for the rest of this. Starting to see a bit of communication mishaps,
Yeah.
perhaps, with a bit of running around blindly, but nothing too bad.
Yeah. Team Strangers now leaving.
Yeah, at a cool 27 minutes, not bad at all for a board that's going to snow. Meanwhile, Braun doing some fancy backflipping up here. Now, they did not do nut clip earlier, so this moon is here for them to grab. But wow, only at 35 purples at this point in time. Definitely fewer than I would have expected. They are going for their Goomba Moon now.
Yeah, it's looking like Team Strangers is definitely ahead right now.
I would say so, yeah. A healthy lead at that.
Team Prime had a little incident with sub areas.
Yeah, at least that's the theory.
Yeah,
And I think it's looking like a pretty strong theory at this point.
Yeah. Hopefully they figured it out though. So Team Prime finishing up Wooded.
Yep.
Kind of a weird route that he's kind of going for.
I would say quite bizarre. Don't want to understate this. I'm a little confused, especially with this purples route. If they didn't do nut clip, then you would think they'd go down here earlier to grab these purples, because there is quite a few in this kind of lower central area.
Yeah. So they now have their 50. So are they going to be leaving? Looks like it.
Oh, there's a rock there on me. That's okay. Shake it off. Meanwhile, Strangers entering Lost now, finished with their showdown with Bowser's. Having some trouble with the wonderful leaf hitboxes.
Yeah.
It's been a problem in Mario games for quite some time now, I gotta say. But yeah, super easy objectives here. 10 regionals lost, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's easy. Regionals and Lost are all over the place.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to go for a slightly different from any percent route here. Probably getting the 8-bit moon.
Yeah.
Which is a smart play, because one, that is the fastest moon, and two, it just makes sense. Oh, what is this? Okay, I thought we were grabbing Glide on there for a second. And yep, here it comes.
Team Strangers marking off that 10 regional goal.
Yep. And you gotta wonder what their total regionals are sitting at now.
Yeah, they're probably a bit different. So even though we think Strangers ahead, Team Prime might have gotten more regionals.
It's possible, yeah. From what I've seen, Strangers has definitely been thorough in their purple gathering.
Yeah, he's definitely been getting a lot extra in all these kingdoms. It's probably around the same though. So Team Prime entering Lost.
Yep. And we'll see what they have planned. They do not have to worry about their 8-bit moon here. So potentially just any percent with some marginal purple grabbing along the way.
How many 8-bits has Team Strangers got?
You know, that's a good question.
I feel like this was the only one. Because
This
Pretty
is the
sure
only
they-
one that I recall, yeah.
pretty sure they didn't get any in Cascade. They didn't get the one in Sand. Actually, they did get the one in Lake, I think, actually.
They did get the one, like, I do remember that. So yeah, they're sitting at 2.
So they'll
Um,
probably get the one in Metro.
Yep. Which, honestly, I don't know if that's a great call. That 8-bit moon, I would say, is slower than just getting the one in the Ruins Tower in Sand.
Yeah.
Not a huge difference, but it is something. Looks like Stranger's going in on the purples here. Now, we're going to assume with 2-man teams here, they probably have an exact purple count. So they should know their situation well. So I guess they're finding that they do need some more before they get out of here.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep track of things and like get exact numbers when you have another person.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with like these total regionals or like total moon goals.
Yeah, yeah. With traditional single-person bingo, a lot of the skill comes with being able to juggle all those different numbers in your head and being able to accurately estimate and track.
Yeah, there's so many different things you have to just remember and keep
Yep.
track of sometimes.
Yeah. Personally, what I just keep all that information in my head, and it usually works out. Not always, but usually. I know others, just kind of jot it down on a pen and paper in front of them.
So both these teams now moving along to Metro. Team Prime actually had a pretty fast loss.
Yeah, definitely much faster than Strangers, who went in on the purples.
But Team Prime might be having to get more purples than Team Strangers in Metro and Snow.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I would say Strangers almost has to have more purples than Brian
Yeah.
at this point.
They've been going really out of the way to get a bunch of purples.
It's a nice, clean Night Metro movement here from Strangers. As expected from Mr. Stravos 96 himself. But yeah, in terms of Kingdom progression, that loss really evened things up. Brian was only marginally behind. Their goals progression is looking a little different here. Of course, Strangers having their treasure chest moons out of the way already, and Brian finishing up their 8-bits earlier.
Yeah, and it is kind of hard to tell since we really don't know how many regionals both
Right.
teams have.
Now, I would guess Brian is probably going to finish their treasure chest moons on this treasure chest inside City Hall.
Yeah, definitely a really quick one that you automatically get anyway.
Yep. That's just smart routing there. So Strangers potentially getting an extra treasure chest where it was unneeded.
But yeah, 5 treasure chests really isn't a lot.
No, not at all. Looks like both of these teams did take some care in grabbing some purples here in Night Metro. Now, there are 27 available in Night Metro, but obviously all 27 are not worth going for. But 13 ain't bad.
Yeah, if you do have something like a 25 regionals in Metro, then you can finish in Night Metro.
Yep. Which comes into play surprisingly often, I find.
Yeah, as long as you know where they all are.
Yep. Of course, on this board, One, we've got 30 coins Metro, so you do have to go to Day Metro if you were to go for that. And two, none of these guys are going for that because these guys are definitely going for the same route here.
Yeah.
With row 1, column 3, and the top left diagonal.
Yeah, they are gonna have to be going for 10 moons from sub area as well from this kingdom.
Yep. For strangers, they should be at 2.
So both these teams finishing Mecha Wiggler pretty even as well.
Yep. Yep, not bad at all from either side.
And they also need 6 checkpoints in this kingdom as well.
Yeah, which really isn't that bad.
Yeah, there's many checkpoints in Metro.
Yep, including some that are only available in Night Metro and then disappear afterward.
Yeah, there's that checkpoint at the beginning of Night Metro.
Yeah, which I believe both teams grabbed here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the binoculars is about. I'm guessing just a silly mistake.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to scope out the lay of the land real quick. And we'll see Strangers is getting their 3rd 8-bit moon right here. I'm not really a fan of this play. Personally, they've already got plenty of sub areas to get through, and this does not count as one.
Yeah.
But of course, they do need 20 total, so it'll at least count towards that. Also, Stravos doing some somewhat unoptimal note collecting there.
Yeah, should have got the ones outside first.
Yep. Because the moon does spawn in the 8-bit section there, hence it counting as an 8-bit moon.
Yeah. So we already see some sub areas going on with Team Rhyme.
Yep. This is a pretty fast one. I'll be interested to see what other sub areas both these teams choose. There are, I believe, 7 sub areas to choose from, 7 or 8, and they only need to go to 5 of them if they're getting both moons in each sub area.
Yeah, I think there's 7. Yeah, many different sub areas in Metro Kingdom.
Yep.
So Team Strangers also going in the same sub area.
Actually opting to get that outside one first. Interesting. I don't know if that matters. Uh-oh. Stravos having a difficult time wrapping his mind around this area. See, and this is where communication gets tough for this tiny stuff like this. Because Dangers, with his longer category experience, and just bingo experience in general, definitely knows how to do this sub area. Stravos, on the other hand, not so much. But like, how do you explain that to someone
Yeah.
in a
Like-
timely manner?
Wait, make that go clockwise.
Yeah. Not an easy task. But yeah, looking at the times here, heading up into 41 minutes, about halfway through their metros. And I would say we're both sitting pretty, assuming total regional coins are progressing as expected to be sub 50 finishes here.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, the time to shoot for in bingo, in my opinion. I would say most boards can probably sub 50 if you perform really, really well. Obviously, some can even sub 40.
Yeah,
But,
and some boards can even take longer just because there's like not a lot of routes, and like sometimes it just forces snow or seaside, and there's not a lot of great options.
Yep. Brian doing some interesting movement around this sub area here, although it's not quite working out.
Yeah, Strangers is doing some different sub areas.
Yeah, definitely some interesting routing differences. Now, I do like this choice from Strangers on this sub area, mostly because it has a ton of purples in it.
Yeah.
And so if you just follow the yellow lines here, you should get them all.
Team Prime also doing this sub area.
Yep. It's a classic. Personal favorite of mine.
And we also have to consider the war painting moons.
Oh,
It's
that's right.
looking like they both might be going for Snowdram.
Strangers changing their mind about that sub area. I think they went there earlier is the thing.
A little bit
Or
confused.
communication breakdown. They see they have 4 checkpoints marked. Hopefully they haven't forgotten that they already got one in Dark Metro, so they should just need one more.
Yeah. But as I was saying with the war paintings, it looks like they both might be doing Snowdram because they both only have one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would not be a bad play at all. I wouldn't expect Stravos or Oddme to really have any trouble with Snowdram. That, of course, being a jump near the start of Snow, or End, depending how you route it. Where you do a vault into a cap bounce off the Odyssey and just barely make it up to that painting ledge up there to get another painting moon without actually having to use the painting, which saves a lot of time.
Team Strangers is going to be getting these 2 war painting moons without actually traveling through any war paintings.
Yep.
Which is definitely good to do that because the cutscene that it does take up some time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the cutscene, and then you've got a load to and from the kingdom you're visiting, which loads can actually take up quite a bit of time in this game.
Yeah, that's why it's good to warp out of a sub area if you can.
Yep. Although warping is also not as fast as you would think. It takes like 8 or 9 seconds.
Yeah, warping is pretty slow as well.
But Brian is moving on into Snow Kingdom now, taking a sudden lead.
Yeah. Even with those sub areas in
Yeah. Their metro routing is definitely what's made it up for them. They've flown through this kingdom much faster. Strangers will be on the way out now, but it might be too late at this point.
Yeah.
And we see Oddme setting up for Snowdram. Now, this could actually be big. If he misses this once or twice, that's a lot of time. Each failure is about a 20-second time loss. But he's up there first try.
Yeah, there we go.
And assuming they've planned this outright, they've got 15 purples to go, and then this game will be theirs.
Yeah. So it's looking like a win for Team Brian, but it's going to be pretty close still. They might need some more regionals than 15.
Yeah, potentially.
But I don't know.
I guess we'll find out. It definitely looked like they were behind this whole time, so I'm shocked to see them in a healthy lead at this point.
Yeah, Team Strangers did have a few points where they probably had some communication errors, like in Metro.
It looks like Braga directing Oddme well to find these outside purples, which are actually quite difficult to find.
Yeah, especially.
given the snowy environment.
Yeah. Team Strangers now going for Snowdram. And there you
Very
go.
nicely done. And that'll be their second warp painting, but we see on the board that Brime has marked their final objectives to complete their 3 bingo lines. And we see it on screen. There's their 15. And we should be getting a count on screen from them soon, just to verify their total purple counts. Or at least I hope so.
Maybe.
But yeah, great second half of that. I think there was definitely something going on in Sand and Lake with all those sub areas, but they figured it out. Their second half more than brought them back here. A 46-52 finish, very nice time.
Yeah, and then we have Team Strangers getting their last regional, finishing about a minute behind. Very close.
Yep, very close indeed. Okay, and we are getting the purple counts now. And it looks like Brime is good on purples, if my math is correct. Let's look at Strangers now.
Yeah, that's 228.
Wow, that is tight routing. So we noticed that they were getting significantly less than Strangers, so they probably just planned this out better.
Yeah, Strangers
Yeah.
might have a bit extra.
Yep. And I do believe Strangers is good on their count as well.
Yeah,
Their timer did not end, but it should have.
They ended about a minute after.
Yep.
And here we have Team Brime.
As well as Team Strangers on
Yeah.
the line. But we'll start with the winners. Brime, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oof, that was.
We were
I was scared.
yeah, we were a little confused and concerned at the start there. And now, I'll just start with this question. The sub areas goal for Metro, did you interpret that as total sub areas at the start?
No.
Because we noticed you were getting a lot in Sand and Lake, and we weren't really sure why.
It was for purple. The lake one was for a treasure chest, and the sand ones were just a bunch of fast purples around there.
Okay,
And I
interesting.
didn't think they were that much slower than 80% moons, but maybe it wasn't worth. Because our metro purple count was kind of low. We definitely could have gotten more there, but
Yeah.
I couldn't plan out like that far ahead, right? Exact purple. counts.
Sure, yeah.
So,
Oh, very interesting. Now, from watching this race, you and Odme, Braga, appeared to be far behind Strangers until Metro, where you guys suddenly caught up a whole ton of time and then exited a good minute or so ahead of them into Snow Kingdom.
wow.
I didn't even know that. I wasn't watching at all. It's like, okay, play the game.
yeah.
I was trying to spare out me from how close it was.
See if
Like
you,
I saw
if you
things
had-
getting clicked off, and I was just like, "Uh-oh, they're ahead of us." But
if I
just let
was
Omni
told
play his
they-
game.
had, probably would. By the way, that's not how.
Yeah, both of you
Too
actually
close.
getting clean snowdrams. But
Yeah.
it
If I
definitely.
can chime in.
Yeah, go ahead, Stravos.
During Metro, I was feeling very sloppy. I didn't even realize there were checkpoint goals until a little bit of communication error. But then also, I was very sloppy as well. I think my Metro movement kind of lost it for us there, probably.
Yeah, it was certainly where the tides were turned. I think Brine kind of got their objectives out of the way earlier, so they could blitz through Metro a little bit faster in general, but definitely just good movement from Odme there. Definitely good routing on Bragai's side in terms of what to do there.
I will say our lake route was less than ideal. I really should have just done a lake warp painting. Like, we should have probably fought Rango and done the lake warp painting and skipped the sub area. I didn't realize how much we needed that, I guess.
Yeah, we chose to go for the lake clip route, actually. Which
we saw that. It was very nice.
Good.
Nice.
Of course, freaking Drav goes for and bingo.
What else would you expect out of? But yeah, as far as communication goes, Strangers, we noticed a couple of moments where it appeared that Stravos was kind of just buying time, running around, standing still. So how was the communication over there?
I think that was kind of the downfall in certain points. Like, the purple coins was maybe the biggest thing, trying to figure out where we were going to fill the gaps with all the purple coins. But yeah, Metro was the big one, especially just because there were kind of a lot of loose ends that needed to be tied up in Metro, I suppose, that we kind of forgot about as we were going about, especially that one checkpoint, the very last one that we got. And we kind of had to figure out, do we have 6 checkpoints? Oh yeah, there's one in Night Metro that we grabbed on the way. It's fine. So that kind of was the hang up there. But honestly, I think that looking over this board again, obviously this is the best route. I don't think there is anything else that could really replace this. We probably could have done without getting that treasure chest moon in Cascade, now that I think about all the treasure chests that actually exist along the way anyways. But a couple other things, like to maybe just tighten it up. But, you know, I think that we put a pretty solid effort in, and I think we only came in maybe a couple of seconds in behind Team Brime. So
yeah, I think it was just shy of a minute or so, but definitely
not
close.
Not bad.
And what about communication over on Brime's side? You guys seem to be a well-oiled machine, honestly.
Believe at the Bry guys chopping up, and then it just would not fix itself until like wooded. We were so scared. Discord was not cooperating.
Yeah, the actual mechanical end was tough, but the communication on the route worked well. I think purples was the hardest thing, as Danger said. It's hard to communicate purples to your teammate and figuring out which ones are worth. And I just was keeping a running total the whole game of just like, okay, how many do we need in this kingdom? But yeah, I think it went pretty well.
Yep. Well, very nice job, guys. Unless you guys have any further comments, I think we're ready to wrap this one up.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. It was well played match, guys. GG.
Yeah.
Good luck in the finals. You guys are, I think, guaranteed at this point. So.
Yeah. I don't think you guys are out yet, Strangers.
We're not out yet. No.
Yeah.
So if we win the next match, then we are very likely in. So.
Yep. Of course, we do have our round robin format here, so each of our 4 teams will be playing the other 3, and then the 2 with the best win-loss record will be going on to our finals. But
it's actually interesting. 3 out of the played 2 of their today, and Quan and played.
Yeah, they're all Quan and Limcube still have everything to do.
Yep, but we'll get to them soon, hopefully. But that will wrap us up for tonight. I'm actually not sure when the rest of the round robin matches will be going on for this tournament before we move on to the final.
Bry Guy, Quan and Cube next week, like next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Odme, for that. And yeah, that'll wrap us up for tonight. So GG's once again, Brian and Strangers. Very nice performance and a very close race, really.
Well played, fellows.
You too.
GG.